So say you land the deal, right? Tell me a little bit how you run those numbers, and how are you then able to find securing money, not only for, it sounds like not only for the purchase, but also you find money for the entire rehab.
Yeah, so awesome questions. The simple math for how I run the numbers on the deal is I for the large majority of deals, I follow what most house flippers consider a general rule of thumb in the flipping space, referred to as the 70% rule. And what that means is that either your total purchase price plus rehab costs combined do not exceed 70% of the after repair value. So to give your viewers an example, let's say you have a really small house that your after repair value, your ARV, is going to be $200,000. Well, total purchase price plus rehab at 70% needs to be $140,000. So if you look at it or see the pictures of it and are confident that a $30,000 rehab will get that job done to get you that $200,000 resale price, then you take your $140,000 at the 70%, you back out your $30,000 worth of rehab, and then boom, you're down to 110. That's the max that you should be willing to pay. And there's always exceptions. That's just a general rule. Sometimes I'll pay a little bit more than that if the rehab is really light, or if the dollar amount, the ARV is over, $350,000, $400,000, then maybe we can step up the percentages a little bit higher, because the dollar amounts would still be worth the time, when you get into the bigger numbers. And sometimes I won't buy something that meets a 70% rule if it's a $80,000, $100,000 rehab on a $150,000 ARV or a $200,000 ARV. The potential amount of profit that I can make compared to the amount of time and risk and effort it's going to take me, it's not worth it. So that's how I typically run the numbers. It's pretty simple. I don't plug it into these big spreadsheets and numbers calculators. I basically know, roughly what my profit's going to be at. And I'll sometimes run the backwards math. So in that example, I might say, okay, if I sell this for $200,000, let me take 200,000 times 0.95 to take out 5% realtor commissions that I'm going to have to pay when I sell it, and then minus 110,000 purchase price, minus 30,000 rehab, and then I might just ballpark, minus 8,000 in, holding costs or something. And it could be a little more, a little less, but that at least gets me within usually $5,000 or so of what my potential profit's going to be if everything goes according to plan. And just FYI for people that haven't flipped houses before, every single deal will always take more time and more money than you expect it to.
Exactly. And it's really interesting how you run that. And again, Jason and I are doing the same thing. And I have always said, I have said so many times on the social media platform where you're watching this, there is not one way in real estate to success. How I do it is almost similar to Jason. If a flip has an ARV, after repair value, of 200,000, I need to make at minimum $20,000, 10%, and I don't go under $25,000. So if a flip has an ARV of 300, I need to make 30, 400, 40, and so on. That's how I do it. Run the numbers a little bit differently, but Jason is very successful. So again, there is not one strategy to success.